Hello and welcome to the Astrology and Spirituality Overview show with Elisa and Patrick for Friday the 29th of January. How's the full moon playing out in your situation? Can you still feel its power? It definitely is a very vibrant one, that's for sure. But we do have a very close connection with Venus and Pluto. Now, I did touch on this the other day. Venus in the sign of Capricorn is very realistic. It's very earthy, of course. So it has an appreciation of solidness. If we were talking to someone at the moment who captured our imagination, if they were someone who, you know, was kind of pretty sensible with finances, it would call out to us, I feel. But particularly so if you are someone with quite a lot of earth in your natal chart, because what you'd be looking for is someone who was a solid citizen, someone who was going to be there for the long term, but could also be quite well heeled as well. But when Pluto's in the mix, desire comes into the equation in a much more powerful way. And of course, Pluto represents the underworld. So we might see some stories around now in the wider media about rather influential people who have been involved in some kind of sex scandal, or there's been an abuse of power, so that would be with younger people. Now, we obviously know about the Jeffrey Epstein situation. If you would like to check out my Ghislaine Maxwell deep dive video, we'll put that underneath this one coming, because I did a special analysis of her natal horoscope some months ago, which is quite interesting. So that kind of stuff could be revealed today, because Pluto is what is hidden, but it's also where power's held. And then the other side of it can be that, you know, a job can be offered that seems to be absolutely fantastic. It really has got great perks, great bonus scheme, lots of incentives, and it could all be absolutely good. But also watch out if there's some kind of leverage going on that feels not quite right. So the main thing for all of us every single day is to listen to our gut instinct. But the moon today is in the sign of Leo, of course, because it's just shifted on from the full moon in Leo. It's free of its opposition with the sun. And of course, the moon in Leo is quite glamorous. It's very attractive, it's very alluring. And so I feel in conjunction with that Venus-Pluto connection, then a little bit of flattery could come into proceedings today with a business, financial, romantic, or I have to say sexual overtone added to it. So if something seems too good today, it probably is. But if someone seems the real deal, I would just let it run on a little further before getting too emotionally invested in the situation. Elisa, what cards have you chosen today?
Today we are using the Tarot de Marseille cards. See what spiritual message complements that quite intense and incredible astrology today.
And if you can hear some outdoor noise, we do apologise. It is the recycling being collected.
Yeah, our timing is impeccable. Wow, okay, so the card that comes up here is the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords is very much about having to make a decision. It can be a tricky one. In a lot of decks, this card is signified by a woman who's blindfolded. She has two swords, and it's about choosing which path to go in. Now, the reason this can be difficult is because one, indecision can creep in and we don't know what we want more than another thing. And the other thing to note is if we make decision A, it leads us away from decision B and vice versa. So it really is asking us, it's conflicted. It's not negative, but it can be tricky if we can't make our minds up today. So we are being asked to make a choice.
Can it also be a denial of emotion? So it's the type of person where you say to them, you know something's happened to them quite significant, and you say, how are you to, oh, I'm absolutely fine.
Yeah, because
nothing wrong with me.
Yeah, swords are very much to do with our thought processes. It's to do with air, it's our logic, and that can get muddied with the Two of Swords. We don't always know how we're feeling because it isn't a card that talks about our feelings.
Would the blindfold come into, we're blinded to what we should do, perhaps?
Yeah, we've got those blinkers on, so we can't maybe get an overall picture or see the big picture of where we're going. It's very much like just not being able to make a decision because we can't quite see a way forward.
So what would you say with, with the energy of the full moon being played out, which could be about a romantic situation because of the Leo moon, against what your friends think? And we know that in romance, friends can often be saying, "Oh, don't take that, don't take that
Yeah,
stick,
they
get
can
rid
get
of
a
him,
bit too involved, can't
get rid of him and get rid of him now." And of course, if you spent like 10 or 15 years with someone, it's not quite so easy to, don't just take them back and say,
Yeah,
well,
this one doesn't work.
I have got my receipt. It's proved faulty after 15 years. I mean, that doesn't work, does it?
Relationship guarantee.
So you have that going on from the full moon. So would the indecision be about that, or is it about a friendship group? Because with the Mars situation in Taurus going against the energy in Aquarius, I think a lot of us are finding that some of our values in terms of the people that we know are now beginning to diverge. So there may be people we've been friendly with in the past on the back of this full moon that we're really thinking, well, actually, I don't really like what they believe in. They have a very material view of life, or they're too idealistic, which some people might accuse me of being. So it just depends on your particular situation.
Yeah.
But I just wonder, where do you think the Two of Swords comes into that?
I think it is important when you pull this card to make the choice, because if we don't make the choice, it can drag on. Now, it's not to say, make an impulsive choice. Of course, we should get as informed as we can.
With Mars in the mix with Uranus, impulsiveness is possible.
Yeah, so it's not about just jumping, ship and making a snappy decision, but a choice does need to be made, because otherwise we can get drawn into that Eight of Swords thing further along the track, where we just complete stagnation, not knowing a way out. So it's better to rip the plaster off now than let it drag on.
So be decisive, but don't be too impulsive.
That's right.
That's not an easy thing to find.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's a very tricky and complex
and that's where, if you have got good friends, the type of friends that tell you the truth, Jacqueline, who is our best man, if I share anything that I like the look of, if I think I'm buying something, she'll just say, please find me something else. She's brilliant at just telling me the truth, which, because we've known each other 30 years, you get that honesty. So if you have got a relationship dilemma at the moment, even if it is about a friend, is there someone in your circle who tends to be very fair and a bit more detached, perhaps not quite so emotional? They might be helpful to try to prise open what the solution would be to any dilemma at this stage.
Yeah, a kind of King of Swords or Queen of Swords type personality, someone who's very logical, very direct, maybe even a little bit blunt, but that that you can trust their opinion. They might come across as a little bit detached from emotions at times, but maybe that's a little bit what we need in making a decision today.
I think we all know as well that when we are conflicted about something, we don't always want to hear what our friends are going to tell us, because we kind of know it's true, but we don't, because we're not quite ready to take the action to change things. And so that could be something that
we kind of, a lot of times it's about that timing. I think a lot of us have been in relationships that we know are not working out, and you have to at some point make the decision that it isn't working, and that can be very difficult, because not only is there emotional feelings there but maybe there's other ties, property, or children, whatever it might be, and it's really hard.
That's why when we do our kind of work, we should never trivialize things. It's very wrong.
It's not as easy as just saying, oh yeah, like you were saying, just leave him or leave her. Things are life's more complicated than that, but the decisions do have to be made eventually, and often if we don't make them, they will be made for us.
Yeah, that's very true, especially with Pluto. So a really great explanation from Elisa, I felt, on the Two of Swords there, and wishing you a great day. Please see below for your free daily horoscope for each of the zodiac signs, or if you would like to check out Elisa's three-card tarot, it's absolutely brilliant. Please see that below as well. But for now, from the A team, it is
goodbye from him,
and it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.